Good morning, welcome back to the channel. I'm out in the woods again. I got up this morning about 6:30 and there was mist all around us in the valley, so I thought there's a nice place I know and I'm going to go and see if I can find some Misty Woodlands. So I've come down just past Shibburn into Fairlawn Estate. Public footpaths run right through here, and I brought the dog with me and we're out looking for a bit of mist. As you can probably see, there isn't a lot of mist at the moment, but I'm walking down into the valley where I think there will be some. But on the way down I saw this rather unusual little scene here, and I thought it would make an interesting image. Basically what we've got just here is a foxglove there, and making my hand work in reverse is more difficult. Anyway, there, and I thought I've got the 16 to 35 on at the moment, and I've travelling light. I've just got the tripod, the camera on it, one lens, and this vlogging camera. And I thought, what better than, just checking people around now, what better than to actually get really tight in on that, really tight in, about a foot away, and make that the central piece, and use the fact this is a fast lens, and actually open the aperture up to about 2.8, so there's only the foxgloves in focus. And it's a bit unfortunate because obviously most of it's, if I show you, is dead, but there's still some nice vibrant purple on the end, and because it's sort of snapped over, it's making an interesting series of angles. So if I spin you round and find the dog, oh, he's there, that's fine. If I spin you round here, you can see that what I've actually framed up is that shot, which on the vlogging camera's screen doesn't look perfect because it's not representing it as well as it looks on the A7R3 or R4. But that's a nice little image. I quite like that. It's quite pleasing. It's got a series of angles coming up here and away from there, and then this angle coming in from the lower right or left corner, and then this is leading you down to this rule of thirds position close to where the actual foxglove is. Anyway, I'll get moving on and find some mist, which is the whole point of coming out, and we'll speak to you in a minute. To walk very far, just brow of the hill. I've just walked about 200 yards from the last shot that I took, and this vista here opened up in front of me, which is a series of conifers going up along the side of this track, and as you can probably make out, it is actually misty. It's not as misty as I'd have liked, but it's actually misty, and it's adding nicely to the image. So what I'm going to do is take this shot, which is a vertical format, and that looks quite an interesting shot. Everything's in focus, 40th of a second, f11, and I'm getting red highlights on foreground and background, which means everything's in focus. So that's that one in the bag. I'll carry on walking and see what else I can find. Things are being good for me here at the moment. I've walked down to virtually the bottom of the valley floor. It's not very deep, it's probably only about 50 feet up to the top where the car's parked. And if I spin you around slowly, get the dog back, you can probably see there's a little bit of lingering mist in these tall conifers. And walking down the track, what took my eye was this shot here, which is this very nicely yellow fern, which is turning autumnal, this single deciduous tree, and then surrounded by these tall conifers. And the picture that I'm framing up for is this one. And again, the 16 to 35 allows me to pull the fern as the primary part of the image down here in the bottom of the screen, and then we've got this deciduous tree arcing over between these various vertical conifers, and I think that's quite a pleasing image. So we'll get that half a second, 0.4 of a second, f16 +1 compensation. I'll take that down to 0 so that I haven't got any blown highlights. In fact, let's go a bit lower, let's go -1. There's a tiny bit of highlight warning there, but I think that's within my 95% that I've got the zebra pattern set up for. So let's take that shot. Everything's absolutely still here, there's no wind, It's silent, there's no one out walking their dogs, which I'm most surprised about, and I might just bracket this to make sure that I've got all of the image. So let me take it down to -3 and get a dark shot of the sky area up here, and then I'll do quite a overexposed shot to bring in the colour and the detail in the darker areas where the ferns are at the bottom. So we'll take that one as well, 1/5 of a second f14 plus 0.7 EV. That we will have a quick look at. Oh yes, the mist is just throwing the trees in the background and this tree in the foreground to be more obvious. The tree, this deciduous tree, is much more vibrant because it's obviously got no mist in front of it, or very little. And then in the distance over here, the trees that are misty look really, really quite pleasant. So I'm pleased with that. That's a just check for detail. And tack sharp, beautiful, lovely image. I'll walk along and see if there's anything else we can find. Well, as you can see, over my shoulder I've got the tripod set up with the camera on top, and I've actually got it at maximum extension, so if I move closer you'll see I'm having to look quite up and reach quite high to actually touch the camera. But because I've got that geared head on, making minor adjustments is really easy, because what I'm using is this Sony Play Memories app, which is showing me exactly what the camera's seeing, and I've got control over taking exposure and altering various properties on the camera, shutter speed and things here. So this is allowing me to frame the picture whilst being much lower down and not being able to see it as well on the back of the camera. And what I've got framed up here is, if I show you this, you see there's two prominent trees in the foreground. They're obviously arcing inwards because the camera's pointing upwards and it's a wide angle lens. But my main interest is the slightly foggy trees in the distance, in the centre of the frame. And the reason the camera is as high up as it is because all of that shrubbery here, which goes up to 6 or 7 feet, it would, at ground level or eye level or lower, it's really not in the image enough. It's too prominent in the image, and I'm not getting the effect I want. But by actually getting the camera higher up, I've got that part of the image as a much less a part of the total image. So I'm quite pleased with that shot. So I'm going to take that, and in this instance, juggling a vlogging camera and an iPhone is interesting. But there we go, 2-second timer. And we have the shot in the bag. Excellent. I'm going to walk back to the car now because I've come to the end of the track here, just over there. It opens up into a big field that's just a maze or something, and it's not particularly of any interest. So I think I might be able to see another couple of shots here, walking back to the car, and then back home, bit of breakfast, and build a video. See you later. Position, and this one's really quite interesting. I've just come off the track about 10 feet into where the pines are standing, and I've got the camera set up because what took my eye was this fern down here. It's not in itself a major thing, but with the 16-35 on at 16mm, it's actually filling the frame, and I've just managed to include in the picture the bottom of the trunks of the trees disappearing off into the mist, which is that image there, which I'll shield that a little bit so you can see it a bit clearer. And that makes quite a nice image. What have we got? 1/5 of a second, f16, minus 1.3 compensation. I think we can afford to go up a bit. None of the highlights are blown out, so we'll set that to 0, ISO 100, 1/2 a second, no wind, nothing moving. Let's take the shot. And a quick look to see that everything is sharp, which I hope it is, and it looks like it is. Oh yes, definitely. All nice and sharp, beautiful, nice image. Okay, spin you around again. so you can look at my ugly mug. Yeah, that's it. I think I'm going to wind up here and go back, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It's only been a brief one, and the B-roll's not really been much in the way of support for it because it's pretty much a snatch video. Just out with the dog and thought, see if we can get some misty shots, and I think I have. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.